How you going, guys? In this video, let's develop the habit of meditation for you. Our mind comes up with so many excuses. I'm a bad meditator. I don't want to meditate. Here's a good example. This might be you, or you may know people like this in the dating world. Why are you talking about dating? So random. No, don't worry. It always comes back to the main point. This may be you, or you may have heard people say this. If you ask them, do you want to go on a date? They freak out. They freak out of the idea of a date because the idea of a date implies so many expectations, so many thoughts about what a date is. But if you tell someone it's not a date, you just want to hang out, often they'll say, yeah, okay, I'll hang out. It's not a date, it's just hanging out. You're basically doing the same thing, but it's just the label that's the problem. So I'm telling you, if you're struggling to even start meditating, don't call it meditation. Just call it quiet time. And what do you do in this quiet time for 20 minutes? Don't have any expectation. Don't think you need to sit there and try to stop thinking. Don't think you need to sit there and focus on your breath. Oh, I got distracted. I'm trying to focus on my breath. Don't try to do anything. Your whole goal for 20 minutes, just to sit there in silence. And in this day and age, that is a big deal. Like I've mentioned in other videos, constant stimulation. We're constantly needing stimulation, stimulus, constant activity, constant thinking. If you can just sit for 20 minutes without all this, good on you. Our mind is scared to think its own thoughts. Our mind is scared to feel our own feelings. Our mind is scared of boredom, but boredom is such a good thing to experience because boredom allows you to be creative, allows you to problem solve. Have you ever watched a movie or trying to read a book or trying to think of something important and someone's constantly talking? You can't concentrate. Your thoughts, if you're trying to problem solve, is being drowned out by constant talking, constant stimulus. This is why boredom is great. It gives your mind a chance to relax, to reset, and give you ideas to solve practical problems. Give you ideas. What do you want to do with your life? It gives you time to think productively about productive things. But if we're constantly, every moment of boredom we used to have, waiting in line, sitting alone in a park, on the toilet, like I mentioned in the smartphone addiction video, we're deleting every moment just to be alone in silence with our thoughts. Every moment is being filled up, stimulation. No wonder so many people aren't creative. No wonder why so many people are anxious. Your parasympathetic nervous system isn't getting a chance to reset you, to calm you down. So like I said, just the most important thing in life is forming a habit. The body responds to habit, the mind responds to ideas. So if you're struggling to meditate, just form the habit over 30 days. Just tell yourself, my job, sit there in silence for 20 minutes. Whatever happens, happens. I can think whatever I want. I can feel whatever I want. It doesn't matter. Now, this might sound scary to you if you're not familiar with your thinking and thoughts. But like I said, just get through that. Just tell yourself, I'm just here to do that. Over time, once you form the habit, the routine of just sitting there in silence, then you can start working on maybe your concentration, which would be focusing on the breath. Whenever you get distracted, focus on the breath. This will develop concentration. And when you develop the concentration, you can use that concentration, that attention in any way you choose. You can focus on your breath in everyday life. You can focus on what someone's saying. You can focus on what you're experiencing. You're just developing the tool of concentration. Also, it helps with self-inquiry. I stress self-inquiry so much about realizing I'm not, my thoughts, my feelings, my ego, as I mentioned many times. It's hard to do these practices if your mind is constantly scattered. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Like I said, just take time out of the day. Don't even worry about this self-inquiry, focusing on the breath, trying to get rid of thinking. Just tell yourself, I'm here to sit here for 20 minutes. Whatever happens, happens. Ironically, this is how I meditate now, after years of meditation, but with a different perspective. In the beginning, I used to do this. When I wasn't good at meditating, I just told myself, look, I just want a break from all this stimulus. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to sit there. And the goal is achieved once the timer goes off after 20 minutes. Then I got into more meditation, which required concentration, developing concentration. I got into meditation that focused on looking at my thoughts, deconstructing them into shapes and colors, into noises, like I mentioned in the negative thinking video. I got into meditation, which instead of calling my feelings, emotions, just call them sensations. Some sensations are weak, some are more intense. What I'm saying is I've started off just sitting there trying to get through 20 minutes. I did all the meditation practices in between. Where am I at now? Back to the beginning, but with a new perspective. Now I just sit there in meditation and basically focus on the feeling of existence, and then anything goes. I tell myself, you can think what you want, you can feel what you want. It doesn't matter. Why? Because once you see through the illusion of thinking and feeling, you realize they can't touch you. You don't need to block them out. You don't need to run for them because they can't touch you. They're harmless. We just breathe life into them. We breathe fear into them and get scared of them. So what I'm saying is eventually you're going to come back full circle and just sit there. I think it's called open awareness meditation if there's a label for it. Open awareness. What this will eventually do is, in meditation, you're just dealing with thoughts and feelings. Once you become non-reactive to them, once you're not trying to control them, make them go away, you're just like, yes, whatever appears, you're like, yes, you're welcome, you're welcome. Non-reactivity develops. What does that do in everyday life? It carries over. What is everyday life really? You're only ever interacting with thoughts and feelings again. People trigger thoughts and feelings. Events trigger thoughts and feelings. Once you develop the habit of non-reactivity in meditation, it carries over into day-to-day life and you're more stoic, non-reactive to your thoughts and feelings of the world, just like in meditation. But like I said, this is coming full circle and I'm trying to give you something to look forward to. If you want to be calm and peaceful and non-reactive in life, you need to practice it in meditation. The habit of sitting there with idle attention and practicing on bringing it back into the moment, being mindful, develops a habit. When you're in life, you naturally do that. Whenever there's a moment of idle attention, not much happening, you've practiced, your mind's in the habit. Oh, nothing requires my attention, into the moment. I'm only ever interacting with thoughts and feelings. People are only thoughts and feelings. Non-reactivity. This is why meditation is the fundamental practice of inner peace, of lessening the feelings of being anxious, of negative thinking. Master your mind in meditation in a controlled environment and you've mastered your reality eventually. That's why I always talk about meditation, which is basically mindfulness, and mindfulness is meditation. This is the fundamental practice for inner peace. And if you find inner peace with these practices, you don't need to delve into self-inquiry and the feeling of one with all reality. But I heavily stress the feeling of oneness, because ultimately, where does all our fear and anxiety and wanting happiness from the world come from? The belief that we're separate. So, like I said, you don't have to delve into oneness and feeling one with all reality, but it'll solve the root of all our suffering. When the feeling of fear is replaced with the feeling of love, and the only reason it's replaced is you realize there is no separation. Separation breeds fear, which breeds desire, which breeds anger, all these negative qualities. When it's replaced with love, because you realize I'm one with all reality, there's a sense of openness, calmness, relaxation, and not desiring so much, needing, wanting, which generates all the thoughts, all the anxiety. I'm scared. I have free will. I'm separate. As always, I've got off into a little rant. But yeah, oneness, I strongly recommend oneness. That's why I call this channel Practical Non-Duality. Non-duality is the key to ultimate inner peace, I'm going to say. But I'm getting so far ahead of myself. Just take time out of the day to practice. Sitting in silence, it'll do so much for you. Do it for 30 days and then work on more traditional meditation practices. As always, I hope this video helps. See you guys in the next video. Until then, take care of yourselves, okay? See ya.